When looking at this year's summer transfer window, it has been full of surprises. We've had players join their rival clubs, former world-class players leave Europe, and high-profile players join so-called smaller clubs. So in this video, it's only right that we look at the 8 most surprising transfers this summer. Number 8. Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich. Having joined Liverpool prior to the 2016-17 season, Sadio Mane has arguably been the most important player in Klopp's project. It was therefore a huge surprise to see Sadio Mane leave the club after scoring 23 goals last season and winning the Carabao and FA Cup as well as reaching the Champions League final. And at the age of 30, which is the same age as Salah, it was clear that he still had a lot to give to the club. What makes this transfer even more surprising is that Bayern Munich just paid £28 million for one of the best strikers in Europe. Number 7. Niklas Süle to Dortmund. For the longest time, Dortmund have been losing out their top players to Bayern Munich. This includes players such as Lewandowski, Götze and Mats Hummels, and the few times that Dortmund did manage to get players from Bayern Munich was when they were way past their best. But Niklas Süle moving to Dortmund is different. This is a 26-year-old centre-back in his prime who was arguably Bayern Munich's best defender last season. Yet instead of staying at Bayern Munich or moving to a big club abroad, he has decided to move to rivals Dortmund. Regardless of whether it works out or not, it was a huge surprise nonetheless. Number 6. Sterling to Chelsea. One of the biggest surprises in general this summer has been Man City letting some of their key players go to rival clubs. This includes Jesus to Arsenal, Zinchenko to Arsenal, and Sterling to Chelsea. Sterling managed 26 direct goal contributions last season, making him one of City's most prolific players. It is clear that Pep Guardiola is trying to go in a different direction with the signings of Grealish and Haaland of recent, so perhaps selling Sterling was the right move. But the fact that Man City sold to a direct rival and only asked for £47 million is the most surprising thing out of this transfer. Number 5. Luis Suarez to Nacional. It was only 2 summers ago when Luis Suarez surprisingly left Barcelona to go to rivals Atletico Madrid. He only cost Atletico Madrid €9 million and his 21 league goals ultimately helped them win the league. Last season he wasn't as prolific, scoring only 11 league goals, but Atletico in general weren't as good. But the biggest surprise isn't that Luis Suarez left Atletico Madrid, but it's who he signed for. At the age of 35, he has returned to his boyhood club in Uruguay, despite many top clubs in Europe still interested in his services. A picture has gone around on social media recently showing Luis Suarez's new club and its facilities, which are far inferior compared to the clubs in Europe. Although it makes perfect sense for Luis Suarez to return to his boyhood club, I didn't think it would happen this soon. Number 4. Casemiro to Manchester United. For weeks if not months, Frankie de Jong has been linked to a move to Manchester United. And whilst that deal seems to be going nowhere, Manchester United have signed another world-class CDM instead. In doing so, Casemiro brings his 9-year spell at Real Madrid, which saw him win 5 Champions Leagues, to an end. This transfer came out of nowhere because just a few days ago Manchester United were linked with Rabiot, and as we all know, Manchester United are not known for doing their transfer business quick and efficiently. Yet things seem to have changed this time around, as Manchester United have signed arguably one of the best central defensive midfielders, and that too from one of the biggest clubs in the world. Number 3. Dybala to Roma. Once considered one of the best talents in Europe, Dybala has struggled in recent years with injury and consistency. So after 7 years at the club, it was perhaps not a big surprise that he left Juventus. But for the longest time he seemed certain to move to Inter Milan, which made sense because they are a club that play Champions League football and always challenge for the league. But instead Dybala has decided to sign for Roma, who will be playing Europa League football this season. And with all due respect to Roma, who are a big name club, I do think that a player with the quality of Dybala, being in his prime years, should be playing for a better club. Number 2. Jesse Lingard to Nottingham Forest. Now, it is no surprise that Jesse Lingard has finally left Manchester United. He was in the final year of his contract and Manchester United did not offer him a new one, and he spent most of his time on the bench. At the age of 29, it made sense for him to find a club where he could play regular minutes, and most thought that this would be a club that was at least playing Europa League football. Instead, Lingard has opted to sign for a newly promoted team that is not even playing in Europe altogether, and could well be fighting relegation this season. And with him receiving a wage of £200,000 a week, it is clear to see that his motivation to join Nottingham Forest was a financial one and not a sporting one. This move could go either one of 2 ways. Either he becomes a Nottingham Forest star player, or he gets relegated with them and ends up leaving at the end of the season. Number 1. Gareth Bale to LAFC. With all the injuries he suffered at Real Madrid, it is clear to see that Bale is not the player he once was. But in the 2021 season, where he was loaned out to Tottenham, he showed that he still has the qualities to play at the top level. Despite being in and out of the team, he scored 16 goals in all competitions, a respectable amount for any player. He then strangely returned to Real Madrid last season, making only 5 appearances in the league. And this was due to not only being on the bench, but also suffering with loads of injuries. So upon his contract expiry earlier this summer, many thought that Gareth Bale would look for a challenge one more time in Europe. But by leaving Europe at the age of 33 to join a club in the MLS, he clearly has no desire to play at the top level. It remains to be seen whether he retires in the MLS or if he comes back for one more challenge like Zlatan did. And that was it for the 8 most surprising transfers this summer. Comment down below any surprising transfers that I missed out on. And as always, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.